They have to know that the material we've already seen, we've read again, we've watched the documentation material, we've seen that. In some instances, we may have even kind of traveled with the work or heard about it from afar or something. So I think it's really about trying to focus on the fact that the work that they've already put in is in. So what do you do with the fact that we're all sitting in that room together? You know, how do you go to the next step?
We want to know more about the project, not a duplication of what has been in the application form, but the sorts of things that you can't put on paper, which are more about, you know, your desire, why are you doing it. It's work that comes out in conversation, and I think that was the best part of the pictures that we've done today. It wasn't the initial 15-minute pitch of here's a bit of a picture of the work, a bit of a DVD, and this is what the project is about. It was that inquiry that we were able to make together with the artist to really get to a sense of what it is that they're trying to say, what it is that they're trying to engage with audiences about.
Think of that crazy movie where this kid who is desperate to get their script up and has done everything, pulled every trick in the book to get the producer to have a drink with him, and is going, man, I got to do this. My life will end if I don't do it. I mean, in a sense, you have to treat it that urgently because you don't get this group of people or whatever the constituency of this expert panel is going to be, you don't get to see them all in a room together. So it's like any occasion when you're face to face, it's an urgent opportunity. It can't really be just a laid back corporate presentation.
If you whacked on a PowerPoint, we'd be doomed. It's you know, it would be like, whoa, don't be working up a PowerPoint.
I keep thinking of the auditions for Big Brother. You know, the urgency with which those kids go in and go, look at what I can do. I'm desperate to sell their case, and it's a little because this goes through such a bureaucratic process, which it has to, because it's a government fund. It's in a way you've got to. It's like what you were saying, Christy. It's about getting off the page and sort of ignoring the criteria. We know that you've got to obey them, but we've had all that. Now's the chance to use the opportunity, flesh to flesh, bone to bone, to really give us the feeling of what you're trying to do.
I mean, I guess it's not about the nuts and bolts. They're important, and the project has to stack up, has to be realisable. But I come back to the question of why. We want to know why. Why to present this?
And if there are nuts and bolts we want to know about, we'll ask.
Yeah. Sure. I'd also think, you know, don't be afraid to push back.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I think that sometimes, you know, people just say what they think you want to hear. And quite often, you know, there are certain questions if asked of an artist they should just tell you to get stuffed, you know, and you actually quite admire that, you know, and you kind of go, because there are certain points at which the work of an artist is, you know, is naturally mysterious, and they don't necessarily have all the answers to it. And often, you know, because even what we do, you know, we'll go through all these processes, but at the end of the day, it's still a leap of faith. And that's what you really have to establish is, are you going to have faith in this person or not? Because someone can do a great presentation or talk it through. And that's why I kind of go, it's not a question of trying to get to be liked. And it's not a question of just trying to lean into the criteria. It's a question of just, because if someone doesn't have real steel behind them, they won't get it done. Or they'll end up sort of, you know, jumping through too many hoops and compromising it all along the way. So I would say, I mean, whatever about producers and that, because we all know producers are like, but it's, he says being a producer, but, you know, when it comes down to the artist, I would sort of, you know, just kind of respect your own kind of sort of convictions on things, and you know, of course you're the most important person in the room anyway, because and that I think is one of the things is that, and I know it's very difficult to kind of explain this when you're trying to get money, but you know, everyone else is effectively servile to the artist, even though it might not look that way, and sometimes I think you just have to kind of steel yourself and remind yourself of that, you know.